I've been grinding. And I was listening to a podcast that really got me.
Have we started?
excited. Yes, we started. Yes.
That's how it's supposed to be, though.
So podcast for me, it resonated with so many things. Okay. One, I'm starting a podcast. Two, I've been working hard to build a damn YouTube channel. Social media influencing, if there's such in the country. Guys, is there is there such? I know you have a different topic, but for me, is there actually a creative industry in the show?
Yes, I think there's an industry, but it's not high challenge. You know, it's not recognized well enough for it to be an industry. Do you understand? Something you do in your spare time. They don't understand that that's your bread and butter.
Or rather, to add on to what she's saying, it's not more of Haina Chele, there may be the investment part of it. Like big brands, we find it rather difficult to invest in certain profiles because later there's an education element of it. You know, people need to understand what content creation is all about, what social media influencing is all about, and it's all linked to a whole lot of things like reputation management. You know, you need to be a good girl or a good guy, also depending on which brand you're trying to represent.
But at the
you need
same
to
time,
be in a position where, as a brand, I feel that it would be great to invest into this.
But then how much? It's be like 400, Thetsane. How do we get there?
For me also,
so I think now I'm worth like 1 million a year. How to, you know? You see that expression you have?
1 million.
Yeah, but
we can debate about why 1 million. Why 1 million?
Because I feel like a million.
How do you?
I feel like a million. That's what I want. I feel like a million, but I need to understand. We need to first see. Okay, how do we get to this price in China? You understand? So based on that, but it can be any amount. But how I get time?
That's true.
You understand? You understand? 400 TB. You understand?
That's what I get now. More Kenya as a creative, what have you invested in yourself?
Should I be investing?
Here's the thing. You cannot have a personal brand without putting any money into it or any hard work into it. So I think perspective I quite get it, because sometimes I am the personal brand trying to get a bigger brand to buy into me, or I am the bigger brand trying to buy into someone else's brand. We need to really take the time and learn how to package ourselves. How you package yourself on social, in person, is going to count to the value. Someone will look at you and think, hey, but I would never pay that much. How bona the numbers they generate or the aesthetic they represent on digital, and you're like, okay, maybe I need to up the ante on the money.
But for me, the question is, can we honestly say that our country understands the digital era?
Not yet.
Not yet.
But what is
we are light years away from
for us to get there, but what are on the other side. You understand? Which is the
other side?
If you want to represent a bank or a telecommunication company, people who make those decisions in the office need to be the ones more education not the rest of the people. The rest of the people will be given, they'll be fed what's available and they will consume. You understand? So it will spend so much time educating the wrong people.
Okay.
Because as an influencer, you're not trying to make waves with. Yes, followers are okay, but the person who targeting, the one you're trying to communicate to, 100% investment, you're investing towards Batwani, you are trying to communicate to Batwani, you know. So it's the people that where the education needs to go.
But I also feel, I think to the same point, I'll speak from an MC perspective. People have this perception now, hey, MC they give you a program 5 minutes before the day, how going to listen to and I'm
it's
like,
not?
no, it's not.
Can I please say that?
No, don't do
The
that.
MC profession,
Don't do that. I'm
the
gonna
MC
die.
profession is the most disrespected profession in the city, in my opinion. We're seen as not party starters, not like mood or ambiance controllers. No. We're seen as just.
But that's what
I've
it
heard.
is.
I've heard so many people
Even
say,
bad names.
"Can you feel it?" But guess what?
but
That's not what I do.
Imba chatong, at least una mo lanti. As a photographer chatong, o tlamehile o jela ka mara 10 or you understand?
But why?
No.
But why?
Wait.
But
Okay,
why?
someone need.
But do you
Let's-
as a photographer, like, do you communicate?
Your standard.
Boring.
Do you communicate?
You
or
do the work.
Do you have?
Boring.
Technical
Wait.
Do you have an SLA?
Hey,
As a
SLA
photographer.
as a service level
Service
agreement.
level
Yeah.
agreement
Yeah.
to show for what
Should-
you're not a photographer.
look
This
at
is how I work. These are my expectations.
Surprisingly, level.
And this is what I'll do.
Surprisingly, level. What I did this year, I mean, what I then decided to do this year, besides the rate card. She's not talking
I
about the rate
cannot
card.
believe it took you
The
so
rate
long.
card, but the actual speaker engagement.
Yes.
What if the person who hires me to MC an event to be like, no, you will give me a program 3 weeks minimum prior. You make my payment 3 weeks prior. And the balance of the event.
Yes.
But I get to mono because I need to buy my Armani suit, I need to buy my Chanel
Nkosi.
cologne. I don't just bring TK pizza 10 years worth of
Yes.
experience. I bring so much
Yes.
more to the
Yes.
event.
You're paying
So
for the experience.
You're paying for the experience.
That's
you know.
that's the part they don't get.
Also,
That's the part
That's the
they
part.
don't get.
That's the part the service providers don't explain. Because tell me, no, let's be honest. How many times have you, as a photographer, went to an event and said, go charge for 2 hours? That's it. Give me my money, 50%, 50%. How go for without actually like bedding it down. Okay, no, these are my expectations, and from those expectations, this is what I'm gonna offer you, and this is what the end product is. So it has to be. Look, we're not as a service provider, as an MC, you have to be like that harsh
Set
and
your
say,
standards.
no,
Yeah.
these are my standards, and if I need to reset immediately, go sit down.
So
we're going
but-
back to the education of you as an artist, or how well
Hey, but.
are you?
and
Guys, no, I think you guys.
Moderate.
So for me, when you work at the artist, and I know you've just started
An artist management company.
What was your reason for doing that?
I needed one.
Why?
Why?
At my peak, I needed an artist management
At your peak?
company. Yes.
As an MC or
Yes,
as an artist?
as an MC.
Yeah.
Because you would get gigs where there's nothing. How na program manager, you barely have a rider. You know, but umo no enu fihlile kanako. Hussein, how tsamaya? You have to find
Come on, no, no,
monga
DJ
event
set
ilwa
up,
ukuthi
awena.
isala potela kankenu. Well, because you want your money. But when you have an artist manager, first of all, your image should be like this.
Yeah.
This is where you should go. These are the things you should look out for. You understand?
So it was very smart to get a brand manager.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, but
It is part of
we-
how you build yourself.
We cannot.
Okay.
You understand?
Exactly.
More than anything else. On an empty stomach, you understand? 50% off. You understand? I will take the money. The terms, you give someone an invoice or 30 days. You understand? You're like 30 days over money. No, keep police. It's not written anywhere. You're supposed to know. You understand? What are you gonna do? You will take it. You understand?
And what?
Fee.
How manager?
It's a fee.
You understand? So if I have to think of a situation where manager this is because you need to understand how it's not it's an infant industry in the space. So education tane di tswela pele kana haba e ka se tshwana go ntho mo chepa sediba gona ba teng gona yone re chepa diba senana and ha re dula gona metsi a sona and we need to understand Reitumelle, be Reitumelle ho jwalo. I'm not saying you shouldn't improve or try to set yourself apart. Empa nnete man nnete ke hore there was a point where the photographer in the bontaderane, some man nnete in the bontaderane, and photo ha 10 rand, and so you come to someone and say, no, it will be 15,000 and I need a deposit 10,000 before. You understand? Mutually just looking at going, how? You understand?
So you know what the funniest thing is? I was at a restaurant on Friday evening. I could talk from my So this guy comes up to me and says that I can take a picture of you. It's a hard copy, and I'm like, but I need a digital one because I need to post on my social media. You know, what am I gonna do with a hard copy in 2020? 2020.
Put it on the fridge.
Put on my fridge.
Yeah,
Really?
I have pictures on my fridge.
No, I have that. I do have that. But at this point in time, I'm like,
I want to share it.
I want to share
aligned
it
with
now.
what's happening.
Alignment.
Okay,
Alignment.
so but I'd just like to go back to what Beat just said about doing what you gotta do.
Yeah,
to eat.
The bills gotta pay.
When
Gotta be
he
paid.
says that, I think of all the times I've taken the absolute bare minimum because I was trying to save up for the school. I had rent to pay. I had so many other things. I needed to maintain the look, the aesthetic that I was, that I was known for. And in a little okay. Yeah, no, 1,000.
But
Really covers what I need.
When I get you, I was about to ask, does it actually cover your bills to get to the venue?
No.
And they cab back home because we leave like an
Honey,
ungodly
that barely
hours.
happens. That barely happens.
Rolling,
That started
rolling,
happening.
rolling.
That started happening when I was like, what's up, King? If I'm driving up there and you can't organize a car, it'll, this is how much I charge for fuel. Also, I'm gonna need X amount of passes because I bring my protection for the night, which is my +1, and I bring a photographer. Drunk up around
To
here
get
by
some
name.
content, yeah.
Some people don't take my angles the way I like
I
my
know.
angles being taken. And I'm really fussy about
What the
the
picture
photos like I said eventing because I always like to put the best out there.
Yeah.
Hobane, that's my CV.
That is your
also,
CV. That
that
is your
people are
CV.
scrolling through. But just to go back to Tabe, who fihla to a point where we're like, you know what, ihlile, I need a brand manager. Ihlile, I need to be underneath an agency that's going to take care of me, takes time. Because even now, when you give people your actual fee, they cringe first. And they try to shake you down for the absolute how
I feel like you got to where I wanted to go.
Okay,
Exposure,
that's not
exposure.
I'm sorry, exposure has never
Does it
paid
actually
my
pay?
rent.
No.
Does it actually pay?
No, it's
But for me, I think before we get to the exposure, I want to talk to Kiva and all of you guys as well. Yeah, the rate, I want to talk about the rate. And she's laughing because there's a young person out there who's trying to get into the industry. If there is an industry. I think now there is an industry.
There is.
Where do they start with the rate card? Because I had a gig recently and I was like, I've actually never charged for this. Where do I even start? Like,
so Giranari, I
and
think
you do a lot of research and
It's-
there's
Yeah, do you
nothing
do?
specific.
But that's the thing.
I did the research and
You.
there was nothing.
You based on, I'm going to put together what all you said. But even if you don't do the education aspect of it, when as a creative, you need to do your research in the field that you're in. Let me find out, not even if it's not specifically around you, but let me find out what other markets are doing. What does it mean to be an MC? What does it translate to being a photographer and an artist manager? Do you understand? How does it work? How does it for all those elements, right? And then it's going to come to a place where now you can say, okay, this is the value I'm going to offer your brand. And because the education has been exposed from other markets, I guess whenever we're still new at this, like you said, there's no way we're going to yield the dividends right now. They're going to be for the next generation or further. So you need to be in a position where we're going, okay, this is the research that I'm going to put in. No one's going to teach me. I can't. Because it's a new thing. No one's going to teach me. Another very important thing that we always overlook is a business coach.
Do we have such in the country?
No, I'm coming. And you be quiet. A business coach and a mentor. Do you understand?
Mentor,
Definitely.
yes.
How many artist managers are there in the country? You'll probably say, get saving up again. What's
But
the point of
I think the mentorship.
You guys are being cute now. When are you going to eat? When I am now having a coach and a mentor and a manager, when are you going to
Are you
eat?
trying to grow your brand?
I'm trying to eat first. I'm trying to eat first.
When
Then
did
how
you
are you
decide?
eating first? Then you must settle for those
When did you decide when you want to eat?
Before we go further, we're gonna go into a short break just to refresh our drinks and make sure that the Linford is flowing.
Live, yeah. Did you see her? Come alive.
Yeah.
Rough,
So
man.
I feel like what Lebo was saying is not necessarily. We, like you said, we've dug. We've been doing the digging.
Yeah,
That's what I get.
Still are.
Still are.
Mm.
Again. But now there's somebody else who's starting out. They can approach these people
Romanticize this
to-
process
A young
so much.
photographer.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Because you will have
How
so many achievements under your belt, right? And he will approach you, and you should be ready to say, "I am going to give back."
I'm busy
Now,
trying
Hannah, how
to eat.
many junior photographers have you worked with? How many? Just say. And you started before them. You started
No.
before them. When I say
Not
junior,
you, not
I mean, Baba graduated about 2-3 years ago. But because they're with you, they can see the light.
Yes.
There's someone who
They
knows.
they learn
Bantu
process.
bambonza.
Yes.
So they're showing me.
No,
And
no,
they
appreciate-
So guys, I know we got probably 30 seconds and then break, and then I want to hear about one of my because like
Yeah,
that's
we
a
see
story
it.
right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Especially when it's your main hustle,
Yeah.
it's your only source of income because
Yes.
we have guys to get paid.
Yes.
And somebody's sitting there looking at me saying, "But TK, you're so privileged, You've got an income, you've got many side hustles,
yeah.
so you can fund
Mtwena
this
ke
thing."
side.
Inana,
Eh,
unemployment
namona
is
ke-
high in the country.
yeah.
Unemployment is high. This could be somebody saying, "I need to eat. I am a creative, I'm going into the industry. I need to eat." So after the break, I just want to yeah.
What's what?
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
when
there's- So, Beat, just before the break,
Yeah.
and specifically looking at what you did during the lockdown again. So, artists need to eat, and that's going. TK has additional sources of income. Content is side hustle. Who are a couple to mean other people here the main hustle.
Okay, let's talk about. I'm going to try and wrap this into a small ball. In the sense, we did the love letter. The love letter was mainly pocket sponsored. So we didn't do the love letter. We were doing the love letter hoping, you understand? Also, it's a new concept. How well motor had abusing my child. You understand? So the money never came. Yes, I was but the very proposition from the team, your production, go guys. You understand? So we have a graphic designer, we have a camera guy, we have so many people. We're going to learn. If you look at the first one and look at the 15th one, there's a big difference, you understand? So dude, we've never done this before and we're doing it, we don't know where the money is going to come through. Are you game? You understand? So we will make sure you get there, we'll make sure everything, or you understand? We'll be sharp, you understand? But also you are in the game of being seen to be doing something or something like that. So that's how Love Letter was shaped. That's that.
Just creatives coming together.
Hey, it was
and
just
collaborating.
creating.
You can have 10 people, Basotho,
Working together.
do something. You understand? Who would otherwise? Because we had the top one in any industry in that room to do that show, which is impossible to put together. Like how because
they need to eat.
Yes,
They
you
need
understand?
to eat.
So, and we understand and we agree, Yes, you understand. But in the lorry, it was a proof of concept. Maybe lockdown will be in a better position.
Wait. What are you speaking into?
We have money to make.
Listen,
So
Yeah,
you just said now we need to eat.
Yeah,
Just say
so
now we
let's
need
talk
to
about
eat.
eating.
So
So
lockdown.
Did you
Was an
eat?
innovation.
Did you eat?
No, but
So
my eating
what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, you don't always eat, but brand how
It's put out there.
improve.
How
You understand?
conscious.
So how do we get people to be conscious about
We're
Hey.
saying people are never upfront.
But how do we get- But
if you bring someone who costs, let's say, 45,000, couple overheads how is 150,000, let's say 150,000, right? You need 100 people paying 150 at the gate to come in, right? You understand? That's just that. So we don't how to do with the profit. One in nine is about 100.
But
you understand? That's just me. That's me being honest.
But for me, the question I want to ask is how many of us as creatives actually treat as what we do as a business? Because I feel like it starts there. She said something already, we see it as a hobby. Like, should we be looking at it as a business couple? Should we, is it a side hustle?
Business.
But how much the creative hadina, the
Nah.
business side?
Yes.
Like personally, hadina mata a business. Since I today as we go, that's why it took me about 4 years just to come up with 2 fly artist management. Because you can't just go. You know, and creatives we're very impulsive people first
Yeah,
of all.
because-
We're very passion driven. So how it's passion how na monyetla wa go wetse later because because you're passionate about it, you're going to do it.
You would have done it for free. Also.
Hey,
So here's the thing about TK. The artists, most artists need to understand hore they're not business people. And be okay with it and make peace with it.
You were creative.
But that
No, I'm not a
should,
marketer,
also,
I'm
that
not
should
a-
not call for ignorance.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
for the
definitely.
business you generate.
That's why you must-
as a brand, or as an artist.
Let me finish. So how do you what's okay? I'm an artist. I can be on stage and I'll do whatever, right? But yeah, short. You understand? Text clearance, the book,
Absolutely.
Performance 500. Dude, can you tell us more? Break it
down.
We're talking about the terms and conditions, right? The terms and conditions.
Wow.
So it means I need to understand what I don't. Knowing what you don't know is very important.
Exactly. So
Hey.
is that what is that not the
Hopola-
mentorship she spoke about?
invoice how ya pele o kile wa etsa wa e hopola nna ntse ke nana
She
ya
judged my
ka
quotation.
ntse ke nana ya ka hore it was so basic. It was
Yeah.
so basic.
One line.
So when I get fela,
Fee.
okay, MC fee
Yes.
1.5.
Yes.
I get to 1.5 that's mine. I get to ya ba
Here's
ke
my
petile,
thing.
ya ba ke lo fana ka yone bile ke entse ka motšhini.
So,
Oh,
speaking
pa,
of-
pa, pa.
here's
It's
my
not
thing.
like a lady.
Let's give Chiva a
Here's
chance.
my thing.
And then back to
Hannah,
you.
it was after one of my, called the biggest endorsement of my career. After I had that, I realized, oh, so there is money to be made from me. Come on, Khosagas. That's when I started having an hourly rate. So that's why when you send, and you were not the first person. Our previous guest on the other show had shown me now. And I'm like, but you're literally the most popular comedian and brand in the country right now. Let's fix your
Yes.
rate card.
Yeah.
Fix your
Although
Facebook
we don't have standardized
Rates and whatever.
rates and things like
references you can go to.
but here's the thing. I base my rate on impact. I base my rate on what I know I bring to the table. If on a particular app, I know that if I say something, on average, the reaction is akadika. These are people that, without even asking, are going to reshare my content or be like, oh my God, I can't wait to be there. Then trust me, if I'm saying I am charging, and
I'm
nobody
in a
take
link.
this literally, okay? If I'm saying I'm charging five big ones to go sit there and be like, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is, then you must understand, I know that.
Sorry to interrupt, but why is that? Like,
Don't come for me like that. My liver is in this with you. It is in this with you. But it's necessary hore re determining the rate tsa rona. But let's also not shoot from the side of our necks.
Yeah,
Let's
definitely.
also make sure that when I say I am charging 2.5 ho
Per hour.
lobua mono for half the event schedule, that it is because I have that sort of presence. Lindlele mono, no. If I say I no longer just put up a poster for an event without it being included in my quote.
Oh, what is
Ke na le ke kgona hore, okay, these are the hours to di kopileng for event promotion, because it's not my job to promote your event.
And I think the other thing as well, how about event promotion, the usage, particularly on social media, you know. So you get the content, ka hashtag a thing, people can go to that event many months later. Should we not be charging for that?
Thank you. We're putting in likeness. We're putting in likeness. We're putting in, of course, the talent and the pizzazz
flair,
you're bringing
the flair, you
to
know.
the whole thing.
The tickle
Because they
jump.
must never forget that it's the Kingdom's Day. And when it's the Kingdom's Day, it's the Kingdom's Day. Just like when you're like, when I'm bringing that TK X Factor, you must know. When Reitu Fly steps up in the building, you must know.
You gotta know.
Everyone
You gotta know.
Eventing literally one of the craziest people I know is about to jump on stage. Ditaba tseo kaofela go into the court and we show them. So I think to just go back le taba eno ya thuto gore re ntse re sena thuto ya hore na re ithekise bang re ipe jwang
Branding.
Qeta.
But how long have profile? They don't have artist
I also-
profiles.
Default. The artist and default.
There's something that you said as well.
Eh, ebe o ngoletse fela hore my name is I'm a rapper.
Is that part of personal branding?
It
Hey,
is.
yeah.
Personal branding.
How do you not have
Why else
professional
am I
photos?
friends with Phil and Koban? How much more? It's just so that whenever a poster comes out, so remember, fly picture.
This event, I was just listening in on everyone. Right? It still trickles down to that main point of research, invest in yourself as a creative, and what? Mentorship.
Mentorship.
How did you know where did you learn how to write an invoice? You know,
From a mentor.
when did you know? Okay, I've been charging wrong all this
I've been
time.
doing this wrong.
Someone literally set me down and was like, "Manana, reevaluate."
Budget.
So you see, hey,
Or
Budget.
rather, it added value to you because
Yeah.
you gave someone else a chance to say, "Come in." And you also mentioned someone who you were related to, who came in and said, "No, girl, you need to have an MOU. You
Memorandum of
need to-
understanding."
You need to protect
and we
yourself.
think those things do not align to
You need
us
to have
because-
standards.
Hey.
You need to set those standards. And not how down now. Or like I made an example. I don't know. If I say we have a gig, and then you say, "Oh, okay, this is how much I charge," and that's it. It's verbal.
So for
Then
me,
it shows me, oh, okay, so everything else we're gonna have to go
I
down
must
this road.
email you my details.
for me, what I learned during 2020, it's still 2020, yeah. During the lockdown,
I-
Let's
specifically.
pretend like it's ending.
Yeah. For me,
Let's
I was
We're a
like,
month
you know,
away.
again, should we see our creative hustle as a business? That's when I decided to say, I need to learn the research you speak about, but I actually don't have a media kit, which is a CV, and I don't have a rate card, you know. So I actually had to sit down and be like, I need a rate card. But this conversation, guys,
Wait,
is
can
gonna
I
be
But
can we
part
just
also-
two.
but
can
also
we just
before we
can we
end
just
that-
talk about mentorship? Like I just quickly
Yeah.
want to talk about it, especially in our industry.
How quick
that
is quick?
People think it's competition. No, we're not
Collaborate,
competing.
guys.
You are teaching me how you did this so that I can do it better than you. Hopefully,
Then
you
you're going to the
understand.
wrong people.
But
You're
how
getting
many
mentorship
people?
from the wrong people.
Let me just say, personally, my mentor is an artist manager somewhere in Johannesburg.
Yeah.
Basotho.
Yeah.
She's running a very productive company. From generations to isidingo to movies.
Ke bana ba hae.
Ke bana ba hae, you understand? And she said it to me, Kgalakwana, dude, just go home and wait in 20 years, I'll help you. You understand?
That's mentorship.
And eventually I did it, and it's working out quite well for me.
Okay.
You understand? So, people shouldn't be afraid to come to me and say, look, Ray, I want to be an MC. Where do I start? You understand?
Yes.
You've been an MC before. I want to be on radio. Where do
do
I
I do
start?
it?
How do I
You
do it?
understand? This guy's how I would keep it, because mentorship is not just for business people.
Inbox is open. Education is
It's
open.
not just
But
for-
you know,
Yeah.
ke lakatsa when we were starting out, all we had was each other.
Right?
That was it, right? Literally. And I remember it was just the both of us and a bunch of boys. But just knowing that I'm going to jump on the stage, Lere gave me into
It's possible.
Okay.
It's
We're
possible.
killing this.
It's
Right
possible.
hand. Right hand.
So
if you more industry mentors, and also there is so much room for all of us. If there's one thing I want people to understand is there is plenty of room.
Plenty.
However, come in
Start like a
o le
reverse.
as a business.
come in o utlwisisa hore ke mosebetsi o hlokang botho. More than
Professionalism
humility
as
and professionalism are literally the most important traits you can have if you're going to come into the entertainment industry. But also, of course, like you have to be strong enough for weekemel and everything else. But how sita hore, Ray? I'm stuck. I don't understand what I'm doing. That is showing I'm getting off my high horse on my stage. I'm gonna come to this person and ask for help when I need help. Those two things are incredibly important. Who come into it thinking that it's just a turn up. It's
not a turn up. So on that note, Kibatla, we have less than 2 minutes left. So I just need your
That's good, my
closing
drink is
remarks. I need another one.
I think for me to close Kohore as an artist in any form, remember to take the money off the table. You need to be very clear. How you exposure it's nice and cute, you understand, but you need to understand you have to be intentional. You need to get your money. I'm going to do this passion. You understand? I'm not going to get paid. You understand? But send the invoice, the quotation,
The admin part of it.
The admin. Whatever you go get a tax clearance, do your books. You understand?
Treat it like a
Yeah,
business
we treat it. But also be conscious of things you don't know.
and be willing to learn.
What's about how it is very, very important.
Very important.
Yes.
Yes, let me eat first.
One sentence,
Yes.
not a paragraph.
I can't eat.
I know the passion.
It's
I can
commerce.
see.
Commerce.
Yeah,
Commerce.
comments.
That's the lecturer in you coming out.
Yeah, Kiva, the lecturer. Hey, you could
Hannah.
masterclass loading. Kiva.
Lead with passion, but passion needs to be supported by brains more than anything else.
Yeah.
And a willingness to learn, ask, be corrected, and do better the next time.
I
Also, it takes a village. Like I said last time I was with you, that it took one man who's in this room for me to remember why I started in the first place, when I was ready to give up. Hey, Lambert, Pamudi.
Ray,
Well,
particularly with
It wasn't
your new
you.
venture.
with my new venture.
It was him. It wasn't you.
With my new venture, I think the most important thing is to learn. Never stop learning.
Lifelong learning.
Never stop learning. Never stop. I learned from this conversation. I learned a lot.
I also learned a lot.
And I hope the creativity, the artistic, and we got big monies in here, just in case you didn't know. So,
Network.
learn. Your network is your net worth,
That's
especially
true.
in the entertainment industry.
Absolutely.
Your network is your net worth.
Yep.
Love your t-shirt, by the way. Cool.
You know.
That's what's up.
Whoa.
And then last but not least,
Yeah.
Okay, for me, it's really, really simple. Invest in yourself. There's nothing more important than that, because when you invest in yourself, everything that we have spoken about today eventually
Comes
comes
together.
together.
Definitely.
Because the moment you invest in yourself, you'll never stop learning. The moment you invest yourself,
Stop eating.
you'll never stop eating, and you will eat big meals.
You're my
And you know,
favorite.
it's important to
This is
invest
sharp.
in yourself. It puts in education and everything that else comes with it, and you are destined to grow from that.
my guys, I don't know. part 1 done, because there is a part 2. There is a part 2. For me, the one thing I would say is thank you guys for being here. Thank you for thought-provoking. I actually think that we need to have a part 3 and a 4 because this content
Are you
is...
going to pay us for that part? Like,
Yeah, you know, for the
because
other
my knowledge, I could write a book.
Well, that's
could
what
write
I'm
a
that's what I'm
book.
about to say. Yeah. So with that said, part 1 done. I am going to. I've been working hard, guys. 2020. So I'm gonna come to the spa. We are shooting live from the spa, Lapel. New spa in town. So we're shooting live from the Lapel. Lapel Spa. No,
Is that-
Lapel Spa is
That's
such a
what-
holistic. Hey, it's
Look
like a
at the
village.
village.
Hey, I'm like, hi.
Helping.
How much
Hey.
Linford have you been having, TK? I don't understand. You don't
You
even
know I
know where
always
you
have
are right
Linford.
now.
You know I always like,
La
hey, guys.
Pearl
It's
Essential
been rough.
Spa.
With that said, sign seal. Mwah. Talks about
Ching.
Linford. Ciao.
Cheers. Me too. I wanna-
With an empty cup, Ray. No, not with an empty cup. No.
It's not
Refill.
empty.
Bartender.
Are we done?
We done.